Hello YouTubers. Okay, yesterday I was out here and I filled the fuel tanks in preparation for our first real flight. It took 6.6 gallons, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that's since the thing only handles about 20 gallons, it's about a third of my fuel supply. So just to be safe, I wanted to have plenty of gas. Airplane's pretty much ready, but I've come across a couple things that I wanted to show you that will be fixed, but aren't necessarily going to be fixed before the first flight because, well, you'll see what I'm talking about. First thing I wanted to point out was the actual control cables for the rudders for the floats. Anyway, if you look right here, see if I can, right here, you can see that there's some rust or something occurring here in these little teeny cables. And I hope you can see that. I don't know if you can see behind my hand or in front of my hand, but anyway, what that is they're rusting already. And not only that, but here on the turnbuckle, right here, you can see some rust happening, and these are aircraft turnbuckles. So what's going to happen is I've ordered stainless steel marine turnbuckles, because these things haven't even seen salt water yet. They've just been sitting out here on the ramp. And stainless cable and new ferrules and everything, so that I can redo these control cables for the float rudders. And you can see here where a little bit better maybe where the rust is starting to happen. So we have to replace this turnbuckle here as well. And it's not too big a job, but it's like, you know, that's the cable that came with the floats, just a little disappointing. And also the actual aircraft turnbuckles that are involved in control cables. As you can see here, this is my rudder control turnbuckle, and it's got some rust happening here as well. So they're going to be replaced with stainless steel as well. But now these cables here, they're alright, and they are internal in the aircraft, so they should not be an issue. The other thing we're going to do is I noticed that you can see the jets right here. And what happens is when they start up and turn to go to the actual runway, which is right out there, they send a blast of air back here and basically sandblast the airplane to a certain extent. And what's happened is just down one little area here on these things here, you can see this little bit of pitting, and that's a little bit of a rust occurring because they're getting pitted by being sandblasted. And if you come over here to this one, you can see the pitting on this one, and it's almost directly in line with where the jet would be. But you can see little pits here. Now I've sanded those and treated it. They may actually cause leaks as they go up through the seal on this chamber, on the cylinder, which is right up in there. But that's for the up reaction of the gear. And the thing is, what's going to happen during the test flights, it's 4 or 5 hours into the test flights before I even try to retract the gear. It's just part of the actual program. They want you to be doing some other things before you actually test the gear out. So on the down function of the gear, that shaft is not really involved because it's extended, and in order for a leak to happen, the oil would have to go past the actual power piston or the piston part of the ram, so that it's just not going to happen, and so there won't be a leak as far as they're in a down position. But coming up, there could possibly be a leak, but there's actually no real pressure on the system in the up mode, because all they're doing is just holding the tires up. So it's not like they're holding the weight of the airplane, which is what's happening in the nose gear right now. The main gear actually has a down lock, but they don't have up locks. So the pressure required in the up section of the gear mechanism is not as high as what it would need to be as on the down. So right now, it's not something that needs to be fixed before flight, mainly because I'm not going to move the gear, so they're going to stay down. Secondly, it is, if a leak does occur, it's going to be very minor and in kind of a lower pressure type of system, so it won't be much. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a little modification to keep them from pitting and getting sandblasted a little bit worse. We're going to cover them with basically pipe insulation. And just went to the store, and this is that. As you can see, it's a foam, pretty thick foam, so nothing's going to penetrate that. We're going to cut it to length, and it already has a slit put in it right here. So it's going to slip over the shaft of the cylinder, and the good thing is, you know, before flight I'll remove them, but even if I forget for some reason and I try and lift the gear, this is just going to squish under the hydraulic pressure because it's very pliable, so it won't actually cause the gear to malfunction. And actually, you can see the split in it, by probably squishing it, it'll actually make it fly off of the thing. So it's not like it's a potential hazard to have these covers on there. But I'm going to take a few minutes here. We're going to cut them to length. I'm going to retreat those things to make sure they don't rust anymore. And we'll see how it goes. The worst case scenario is I'm going to have to order some new cylinders, which aren't that expensive, and it's just the two, and they actually are pretty small diameter, which you saw. So anyway, that's where we're at the plane. Hopefully, if Wind Guru is correct, this Thursday, which is a couple days from now, we should be doing our first flight. So hopefully everything will happen and be okay. And you know, it's a little nervous, but I'm in confidence, and I have a lot of confidence in not only myself but in the aircraft. So hopefully everything will be just fine. But right now, even though the sun is shining, the wind is gusting. It's about 60 degrees crosswind, and it's 15 to 20. So it's not the day. But Thursday, they're predicting between 7 and 10, which is not as great as I'd like. It'd be nice to be a little like calm, but 7 to 10 is doable, and it's also supposed to be down the runway. So hopefully everything will come together. So, and you'll see the results. If not, you'll know what happened. All right, take care. Hope you enjoyed the video. This one's around again on the airplane. You can see how she looks. She's looking pretty good. She's been sitting out here for a while. But she has a solar panel up there that trickle charges the battery. My radios are all set. I had the Dynon D3, a GPS, dual nav comms in the handhelds there that are wired into the actual system, and everything's looking good. Okay, YouTubers, this is just to show you what we're doing here. Yeah. Did you see the little pitting on the shaft? There's the cylinder itself. It's in good shape. What we're doing is I've cleaned it, and then we're going to put this waterproof silicone rust proofing stuff on there. And then we take these, slip that on just like that, and there we have it. All protected and treated. So everything hopefully will be just fine. But those will be removed during pre-flight and put back on. And hopefully we'll be off the ground soon. Just to let you know that's what's happening. Take care.